Hey guys, and welcome to an epic land battle. I'm a Rubber Duck War, but today we shall be seeing the might of a llama with the forces of Nurgle taking on the Phoenix King and his Grand Cathay legions. Phoenix King, you may have noticed, he's been around on the channel for quite some time, particularly a big High Elf main. We actually played him recently in a Total War Warhammer 2 live stream. But this is Llama's first time on the channel. Excited to get this cracking. Let's pop in and check the builds. And though Nurgle is technically the force of good today with the green bars, I must admit, I'm a big fan of this Grand Cathay build. It is ridiculous, should not have any right to work, but with good micro, it certainly can do. For the forces of Nurgle, we have a load of Forsaken making up the majority of the battle line. Mixed in with them are going to be the hippity-hoppity toads themselves. 1, 2, and 3 of those bad boys. A nice little combination here, just trying to overwhelm Grand Cathay as early as physically possible and bust into that back line, because that's where they're going to do the damage. Of course, we have a cultist. It's not really a demon game without a cultist. He does look pretty epic, though it must be said, on his undead horse, riding amongst the ranks of the Forsaken. He's, of course, going to be coming in with his summon, looking to pop down into the enemy back line. Does he actually have his summon? No way, did he not bring his summon? Oh, there it is, the Gate of Nurgle. My god, I thought Llama was a madman. We do have the Gate of Nurgle, but likewise, we've got some other useful abilities. Cloud of Flies, we have the Warrior Bane, and the Icon of Eternal Vigilance. That's what we're going to go with, and I checked the dictionary, and that is 1000% how you pronounce it. If anyone tells you different in the comments, they are absolutely wrong. We have the Exalted Great Unclean One leading the battle charge. Look at the little Nurglin. Hello, my friend. He's waving at us. He's been marching forward, of course. Stream of Corruption and Fleshy Abundance. The old classic 2-for-1 combo right there. Likewise, we do have some air core. We have Chaos Furies. Looks like 4 units of the bad boys on 2 on either flank, looking to overwhelm Grand Cathay. But how does their build stand up? Well, it is a nightmare build. It is just a mixture of shotguns, bows, and chaff, and it's beautiful. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 units, 5 units of Iron Hail Gunners, backed up by 1, 2, 3, 4 units of crossbowmen. That is far too much range to make work without god tier micro, but this is the Phoenix King after all. We have Peasant Long Spearmen in the middle. They're going to be used to try to hold the line where possible. And the real key to this build is in the double Great Longmars, double Jade Lancers on the ground. They have to be moving all the time, bouncing around, protecting those ranged core, because the range is the only units which are going to do the damage here. We also have a Dragonlet Bloodlord up in the skies, coming in with the Jade Shield, interesting enough, and Constellation of the Dragon. Without further ado, let's get this battle underway. I'm very excited to see how these shotguns perform. They're on the front line, so front line shotguns. Is it going to work? Take your bets now. In fact, pause the video and comment down below if you think the Iron Hail Gunners will pay for themselves or if they're going to get just straight up run over. And they are lining up now. They have been improved. They fire a lot quicker now. Once they get into position than they used to. Looks like some of them are falling back, but others are holding the line and actually moving towards the enemy, getting ready to rip and tear the enemy formation. They do some massive burst damage to the Forsaken. My god, that unit Forsaken got shredded down to about half HP. They're already starting to get shut down here. Cultist is going to move in. Likewise are the hippity-hoppity Plague Toads. And they're hopping on top of those Iron Hail Gunners all day long. Yes, the Peasant Longswordmen are here to support as well as the Jade Lancers, but they simply can't be everywhere at one time. Forsaken are ripping into Iron Hail Gunners on this right-hand side, so they're not having too good a time. Looks like one unit may get saved here. Likewise, the Jade Crossbowmen are having a far better time firing, because all of the angry Nurgle forces have jumped upon the Iron Hail Gunners instead. On this far side, we have the big screech of fire being birthed into the world, pooped out by a magical dragon, and being dropped onto the Forsaken and Plague Toads, and some really solid damage there. Iron Hail Gunners are also ripping into them alongside this unit of crossbowmen, but now the Chaos Furies are darting into the back. Great Longmars need to swoop down and try to rectify this situation where possible. Very spread out game so far. You can see Jade Lancers and Peasant Longswordmen are being chased away rather bravely, or perhaps foolishly. I guess those things are often intertwined. The Dragonblade Lord's trying to 1v1 the Exotic Grey and Clean One. That's not going to go too well. We do have a Jade Shield go down on the Longmars though, and they're doing a decent job up against the Furies and Plague Toads. Stream of Corruption's going to come down and just waste some Jade Warriors. That spell is disgusting. Look at the amount of damage it got. That is vile. Of course, Nurgle would probably enjoy stuff being pretty vile. Crossbowmen and Iron Hail Gunners are unleashing hell into the Toads on this flank, trying to reposition. It looks like Grand Cathay is all over the place right now, but they've got a lot of units which can come back into the action, so this game certainly isn't over yet. Nurgle aren't the best faction for chasing enemy troops down. Looks like Forsaken are trying to bomb rush into the Iron Hell Gunners, who are currently back-to-back with their crossbowmen. Longmars swoop down, bringing death and destruction. We shall cleanse you of your Nurgle sins, they say to Forsaken, as they use those halberds in Arcs of Death, as well as dropping some fat dance moves from this Longmar. He kind of floats in the air a little bit menacingly. Looks like we do get a summon of Plague Bearers brought into the world, only to get burnt alive by a glorious fiery death from above. But it looks like the Jade Lancers are going to have to fall back, and likewise Crossbowmen and Iron Hell Gunners are really heavily getting shut down. With a bit of resurgence though, we have more Peasant Longspearmen on arrival, as well as the Great Longmars being healthy and Jade Lancers coming back, and this is where we start to see actually a few problems for Nurgle. They're definitely over-chasing, so we have the Exotic Grand Clean One going away from the main fight, and as well as 2 units of Forsaken. I mean, using the B-up unit's not a bad idea whatsoever, but it is going to allow Grand Cathay a little bit of time here to reconsolidate their forces and get back into the game. If they can win this little fight here, they certainly still have a chance, which if the Exotic Grand Clean One was over here, there's 0 chance they could win this fight whatsoever. It looks like the Cultist is still alive, and a relatively big pain in the arse I found Cultists to deal with. They're relatively good in combat, and particularly the Nurgle one is very tanky, but he's surrounded by Peasant Longspearmen and he's on a horse, so the horse is certainly not going to like that whatsoever. It looks like the Forsaken are very close to breaking here. The Plague Bearers, of course, are a summon, so they shall dissipate back to the fiery depths from once they spawned. We do have more Forsaken as well who come back into the fight. In fact, it looks like we have 2 units there who will want to race back. The Drownblood Lord has really led by example, I think, charging into enemy generals and heroes left, right, and centre, and now it's going to jump on top of the Cultists and get some real solid value there. Great Longmars are bouncing around, causing a lot of problems. We still have Forsaken, though. They are chasing away some of these pesky Jade Warrior crossbowmen. It looks like the other Forsaken have just now finished off those Iron Hell Gunners and can come back into the main fight. The Exotic Grand Clean One, I think he realised his mistake of not being in the main fight long enough. But will it matter? I mean, he's still basically full health. What can Grand Cathay do to hurt him? Stream of Corruption comes down, it does some massive damage. We also have the Curse of the Slug going down, slowing down all these troops, hopefully allowing the Exotic Grand Clean One to catch up and save his Cultist Nurgle buddy. 99 kills for the Exotic Grand Clean One. I don't think he's put any heals on himself, so there's still plenty of potential for that in the latter stages of the battle. It looks like Jade Lancers, though, are going to be able to finish off at Forsaken. Really lovely play by Phoenix King to get back into this game. I think Llama had a real dominant early game. The mid-game certainly went more Grand Cathay's ways. We'll have to see how the end game does line up here. Jade Lancers are going to disengage from their chase of the Cultists, looking to pit these Forsaken in a body bag and lower those Lancers down, bound across the snowy plains and slam into them, sending them flying. Barely a Forsaken left on his feet. Looks like this little trio did a decent enough job, but they are now broken and being ridden down by the might of Grand Cathay. They definitely need to keep the crossbowmen alive, because that's the only way they're going to kill this Exotic Grand Clean One. Everything else would simply die in combat against the Majestic Beauty. Great Longmars are now hunting down Forsaken, bouncing around using the mobility. It'd be awesome to actually see them apply a bit of pressure to these Forsaken on the edge and stop them coming back into the battle. But they will possibly be needed here as well, just to help assist his crossbowmen. And look how much damage the crossbowmen have done to the Exotic Grand Clean One in such a short time. Massive volleys going in, and it's good to see. Jade Lancers are running over the Forsaken. Can the Exotic Grand Clean One withstand the pressure? It looks like the Jade Warriors have been hit by a Blight Swarm and Curse of the Slug, but they are lining up once more to unleash hell into this scary demon. Fire, reload, fire, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down is what they're going to be screaming. They do take the knee there, so get a little bit better accuracy at aiming at the Exotic Grand Clean One, and he is falling so fast here. It looks like he is going to come in, however, with a Fleshy Abundance. That's going to heal him up really nicely, but the Jade Lancers are starting to surround him and bog him down. But that's how it is in Grand Cathay's favour. We get a lovely Stream of Corruption. Beautiful placement there by the Nurgle player, going down on top of the crossbowmen, and it looks like it will be enough to finish them off, but the Exotic Grand Clean One's taken so much damage so far. Forsaken are attempting desperately to apply pressure to the crossbowmen. The Jade Lancers, though, will see to them no problem. Dragonblood Lord's going to be a little bit careful. He's taken significant damage. He's drawing the Cultists. Forsaken also nearby. Constellation of the Dragon is about to swoop down, though, and it doesn't really connect that well, unfortunately. Forsaken don't take too much damage. There are Peasant Longspearmen on approach, though, to help support. Now that the big boy is pinned in place once more, we have triple Jade Warrior crossbowmen. Though they are beat up, they can still add their fury into their arrows. and hope that they will get stuck in on the exotic Great Unclean One, who does pop a stream of corruption on himself, getting rid of the Great Longmars once and for all, with the Blight Swarm there as well. It looks like he has actually been able to break his way through the infantry and cavalry core. Look at the bodies surrounding the Great Unclean One. It is absurd. And it looks like the crossbowmen are starting to be shut down a little too late, though. And that Dragon-Blooded General, the bravest general I've seen, charges in there and finishes off the Great Unclean One. That is going to be the end of the game. A very Pyrrhic victory for Grand Cathay. Well played to Llama. I believe making his debut here on the channel. He's a Sons of the Mountain clan member, and Sons of the Mountain have always been very cool, so excited to see him get involved and play some games. And well played to Phoenix King as well. We played him just the other day on live stream in Warhammer 2. I think it was High Elves, yeah, High Elves versus Full Gobbo build. I might showcase it on the channel. It was such a funny game, but I might send it off if someone else wants to cast it as well, as technically I've already shown it, I guess, from my point of view. But well played to these lads. It was a really good, fun, awesome one. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I'll delve into the value of these units in just a second, or we'll hover over them as we do this kind of last little breakdown. But if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a big, fat, juicy thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Both those things help the channel massively, help us grow and push out the community. So hopefully we can get as many people involved as physically possible. Feel free to comment down below what you thought of the battle and what you'd like to see in the future. Load of links down below to Twitch, Patreon, Discord. Twitch is where we do occasional extra streams. Discord is where you can submit replays, get involved in live streams, events, tournaments, all that good stuff. And Patreon is where you can support the channel financially. Massive shout out to all my Patreons and YouTube members who keep the channel going. Until next time, guys, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.